Hi, I'm Rob Webb, founder of Nonprofit Campaigns, and welcome to this week's episode of our live forum on fundraising, also known as everything you wanted to know about fundraising, but were afraid to ask. My guest this week is joining me as my cohort, Linda Lysakowski, ACFRE,
Hi.
the Advanced Certified Fundraising Executive for you newbies out there. How are you doing? You are in not Las Vegas, but you're in...
Boulder City, which is about 20 miles outside of Las Vegas.
Okay, so she's at the Boulder City office where the Longhorn sheep
Right.
and roadrunners and coyotes come and visit your place.
Right.
I'm coming you from our Hawaii office here, and we want to welcome everybody that is here in the room. I see people joining up right now, so go into that room and say the chat room. If you're watching this from Facebook, you can participate on the live chat, but you might need to give StreamYard permission to show your name. Otherwise, you're just going to show up as Facebook user. And I'm going to throw the first chat in there. Let's see if that works. Welcome. There we go. We got two welcomes from Nonprofit Campaigns. One, I guess that's me in two different groups, huh? And so if you are watching this live from Facebook, go ahead and type your name and type your nonprofit and tell us hello and tell us where you're from, because we love to hear all about you. And there's more of Natalie that is in there. There's a newer member of our group, our Nonprofit Campaigns community, inspiring fundraising success. If you're not a member, you're missing out on all the fun. Go on in there and welcome Natalie. I know Natalie is a new founder of a new nonprofit, and she's excited to hear what we have to say today. We've got good stuff today, don't we, Linda?
Well, I hope so.
We are announcing today the creation of our new fundraising university at Nonprofit Campaigns, also known as FUNC, F-U-N-C. And just moments ago, our website development team has created a landing page on our website. So if you go to our website, nonprofitcampaigns.com, you will see a FUNC link at the top of the page. And that stands for our new fundraising university. And Linda and I are excited to tell you we're going to be launching our first masterclass in the FUNC University. And it is a 6-week masterclass starting September 15th. And it is going to air every Wednesday at 4 it would be 4 p.m. California time. And for you, Linda, I guess that's casino time. It's still 4 p.m., right?
Still
Pacific
the same
time.
as Pacific time.
Yes, and what would be 5 p.m. if you're Mountain Time, 6 p.m. for the Central folks, and 7 p.m. for our friends on the East Coast and in Barbados and the Atlantic time. We've got a few friends that are showing up saying hello. Aaron Kaufman from Family Promise of Orange County. Thank you, Orange County.
Yeah.
I'm from Long Beach.
My neighbor.
Yeah, and we hail from Long Beach. Nonprofit Campaigns is a Long Beach company. We're scattered all over the United States now, and I get to work remotely from Hawaii. But I'll be back in Long Beach soon, and I'm looking forward to getting out and visiting you, Linda, in Nevada here when I make that trip.
Yeah.
We also have Sheena Lynn, who is here today. Greetings from Texas, and it's GCEATX.org from Gulf Coast Epilepsy Alliance. Welcome, Sheena. We've got Lim Montero from, what does that say, Linda? I got my glasses on here. I'm trying to see.
Pillars International.
Yeah,
based near Kalamazoo.
Kalamazoo, Michigan. So we've got Kalamazoo, Michigan in the house. Kai Weiser is back in sunny Huntington Beach, California.
Oh, I was going to say sunny HB.
Yeah, we do that. That's how, yes, that's the surf ghetto of Huntington Beach. We used to call it a surf ghetto. It's pretty nice now, actually, in Huntington Beach. Surf City, I believe, is their tagline. I don't believe they would appreciate me calling it Surf Ghetto. So welcome, everybody. Thank you for going in there. And if you are watching this live. Our hashtag of the day is Fundraising University. Go ahead and put the hashtag, that's that little pound sign there, right? Fundraising University in the chat, because that is what we are presenting today as our Fundraising University. Tara Harris is also here from Virginia Beach, Virginia. Aloha, Virginia Beach. We've got, we're getting all the states covered here. Also, if you are watching, go ahead and hit the love button. Hit the like button. I see one per, oh, look at that. I got 2 likes right now. Hit that love button. Hit the wow button if we say something cool. Facebook likes it when you like us, because then they think, wow, they're actually saying something cool, and they go out and they let more people come in and show our stuff. That's how these algorithms on social media work. Are you ready to get started, Linda?
I am.
Linda is, of course, my new cohort. We have, I feel like we've been working together for like 40 years, because
It seems that way.
all of our fundraising philosophies and ethics and everything that we do just match up perfectly. And but she just joined our team here at Nonprofit Campaigns this year, and I'm excited to say we have, I believe we got 12 of your courses up on our website right now, right?
Wow.
And we're going to have more. I know we should have a couple more coming.
I have 14 altogether, but.
Right. So a couple of weeks ago at this show, we talked about all of Linda Lysakowski's courses. And of course, they are available at our website, nonprofitcampaigns.com. And if you look over, there's a tab that says online training, and you scroll down. In fact, I can do this here. Let's see. Every time I go into screen share mode, I get myself in trouble, but I'm going to give it a try here. We'll push that button there, and it says screen share. I'm going to come in, hit this Chrome tab right here. There is our website. I'm going to pop that up. Ah, there it is. This is the Fundraising University at Nonprofit Campaigns website. And if you go down, scroll down here a little bit, there's a little thing that says purchase. And of course, you can hit that button there where it says purchase now. And yep, it works. We thank you, website team. We got everything up. There is our 6-week masterclass. However, don't purchase it yet, because we have an offer for you to save some money on this 6 weeks masterclass called Annual Giving for Beginners: How to Create a Fundraising Plan. It's going to be an interactive Zoom course with 10 plus hours of instruction, with a maximum of 50 participants. So I can, and Linda and Danya and all of us can get in there and give extra attention to our participants and help you out in a personal way. Once again, this starts on September 15th and ends on October 20th. And that is how you check that out. And if you come over here to this online training tab here, and you go to courses by Linda Lysakowski, ACFRE. I hit it. The website's a little slow. Here we go. These are all of Linda's courses, and you've got everything from Build a Great Board. That is a 6 video, 5-hour CFRE hours. All of these courses, of course, qualify for your CFRE continuing education credits. There's your Build a Dream Team of Volunteer Fundraisers, Fundraising as a Career. What are you crazy? We highlighted that in our show last week, where we talked about turnover of development staff. That was an interesting show. We got a big problem in this industry, Linda, where the average length of time for a development director is less than 18 months.
I know.
That is what we're going to try to help fix that with this Fundraising University. Going down, I'm looking at build donor relations that lead to major gifts, create a development plan that works, the leaky bucket. I like the leaky bucket. If you have a leaky bucket and want to know what's wrong with your fundraising programs and how you can fix it, there is a course right there. That is amazing. It is 10 videos for 8 CFRE continuing education units for only $99. Linda and I believe that we want to, and this is why we founded Nonprofit Campaigns. I'm going to scroll through here so you can see some of these other wonderful courses that Linda has. And I'm going to pop back in here. There we go. See, I always get lost when I go to
You're
screen.
still here. You're still here.
All right, good. That's why we founded nonprofit campaigns. We're a year old now. We started this August of last year after being one-on-one consultants for so many years. We felt it was time to create cost-effective online training courses for nonprofit professionals to learn how to be the best fundraiser they can be. And Linda, we thank you for helping us put this all together. I'm going back into the group here and looking at people's comments. Helen Jackson said, good evening. Mark is our president. Mark Webb, the president of Nonprofit Campaigns, put in Fundraising University, the hashtag. Thank you, Mark. You followed directions quite well. We appreciate it. Mark is in charge of all things important here at Nonprofit Campaigns, Linda. I'm just the director of fun.
I know. I want to be your assistant. I want to be a co-director of fun.
Actually, we think you're in charge around here, Linda. You're the OG around this place. You're in charge. I thought maybe it would be cool if we answered people's questions today. We're going to tell them all about the Fundraising University over the next 50 minutes. And I almost forgot. All of Linda's courses, this is my big announcement. We have a big announcement for everybody. All of your courses are 20% off.
Right.
When you purchase them on our Nonprofit Campaigns website through, what's the date on that?
October.
Through October. I got an image.
Because we wanted to give people an opportunity that are signing up for our course to be able to take. Now, I do want to tell you a couple of these courses have been updated. Most of them, the title stayed the same, but the Fundraising as a Career one is now called Advancing in Your Fundraising Career. So when if you sign up for any of those courses now, you might see something slightly different from what's on the Nonprofit Campaigns website. So I have to send you some of that updated.
Yeah, we got to get those new images. I think that was the one that used to say fundraising as a career. What, are you crazy?
Right. It's
yeah.
That's, I think, the only one whose name changed. And basically the content is pretty similar to the descriptions that you have on, but on some of them, I've added a lot more handouts. Like the Capital Campaign one has a gazillion handouts, and to raise more money from your business community, I know that one has a lot more handouts. So some of them, I just kind of updated them and tried to get some of them more in touch with the virtual age that we're living in now. Like the Capital Campaign ones, I talk about how you can run a capital campaign in a virtual world. So they're not too much different, but there's a slight difference in some of them.
I've got, so right now I've got the image up from the Raise More Money from Your Business Community. Mm-hmm. And don't confuse that with corporate sponsorships that you see and hear about out there, right?
Right.
One of them that is very apropos to what we're talking about today, you've got Create a Development Plan That Works.
Right.
And one of the things that we're going to be teaching in the Fundraising University is how to create a simple and easy to implement fundraising development plan that actually works, that won't just sit on your shelf collecting dust. I hate it.
We don't want any of that.
I hate it when I go out there and we write these great programs and we meet with the board and we come up with a development plan and they just put it on the shelf and don't use it.
Right.
And that is why we're doing this interactive 6 weeks fundraising university to teach you how to implement this campaign or this development plan in your campaigns, not necessarily just create a plan and put it on the shelf. Now,
absolutely.
I've got one more image I'm going to bring up here. All of Linda's courses are 20% off on our Nonprofit Campaigns website from now until October 30th, 2021. However, when you check out, you must use the code WEB2021. If you're wondering what Webb is, that's my last name, and that's Mark's last name. So Web 2021 at checkout, that's the coupon code you need to put in, and it'll just go boom, and 20% off will magically appear in your basket when you check out. All right, so I thought it would be cool. We're going to talk a little bit more about this course a little bit, and I'm going to jump back into the comments here one more time to see who's been making those comments. And we're going to ask you to ask questions for me and Linda. Any of the questions that you would like to add. Jerry Pierce Gaines, hello from Pasadena, California. So now we've got Huntington Beach, California. We've got another OC, California in there, and Pasadena, California. It looks like California is winning right now as far as all our viewers that are watching.
Yes.
Any questions that you have, we want to answer them. We're going to talk about some of the topics that we'll be covering in this fundraising university, but we also want to answer your questions. So you have any questions that you want to ask, go ahead and put them in there. By the way, behind me, Linda, I cut some flowers for you.
Oh, and, beautiful.
If you see some of our Hawaiian flowers in the background, those are, what's that? Those are roses. I've got a few of these hibiscus, which is our state flower here in Hawaii. And I don't know what these over here are, but they're growing all over the place. So I cut a few there. So we also have May Tony Heater, it looks like, from Hamilton, New Jersey. So we've got Hamilton, New Jersey in the house. Linda, I thought we'd talk about some of the topics that we're going to cover in the university. And one of the biggies, of course, is, and this is your expertise, which is creating a development plan that works. What is it about a development plan that makes a good development plan work, in your opinion?
I think the biggest issue is there's several big issues. One is making sure you involve the right people. And I always say with both development planning and strategic planning that there's two kinds of people in this world. There's process-oriented people and there's product-oriented people. And I always make the public confession, I'm a product-oriented person. So if it were up to me, I would lock myself in the office for an afternoon and I'd sit down and write a plan and I'd have it done. And it would do exactly what you said earlier. It would sit on the shelf because I didn't go through the process. I didn't get the right people involved. I didn't do the research. I didn't build consensus on what's going to be doable. But then sometimes you have those process-oriented people that take it too far to the other extreme, and they spend all the time doing the research, and it never gets written down on paper. It's up there in their head somewhere, and that doesn't work either.
I'm a process person. You're a product person, so perhaps that makes us a good partnership there.
We knew we were a good partnership, but that solidifies it right there, because I lose patience with the process, but I know I have to do it. So I buckle down and I do the research and I do the consensus building and make sure that all the right people are involved, because sometimes a development officer sits down and writes a plan by themselves in their little silo, and then they hand it to the executive director and to the board, and they look at it and say, are you crazy? We're not going to do that, or we can't afford to do this. So you really have to get that involvement from the beginning. The second big thing is that it's got to be diverse. I can't tell you how many times, and believe me, I've looked at hundreds of strategic plans and development plans in my lifetime. And sometimes I'll say, well, do you have a development plan? And when they hand it to me, it's a grants calendar or it's a special event calendar. And I said, that's not a development plan. It has to really be more general and include all kinds of fundraising. You can't depend on only grants or only special events. You have to look at raising money from individuals, raising money from businesses. Certainly you want to do grants and probably one or two special events a year, but you have to take into consideration all your constituents and all the methods of fundraising. So the plan really needs to be diverse. The other thing that I think sometimes can be really frustrating for people when they're putting together a plan is that they don't really consider that every organization is different. I know a lot of people on here are probably just starting out. There's some organizations probably that have been doing this for a while. So everybody's plan is going to be different. If you're a brand new startup organization, maybe a lot of your development plan is building the infrastructure. And sometimes people look at the development plan as only the things that directly you're income producing. And that's not always true because there's so many things that affect development, the involvement of your board, using volunteers in fundraising, the infrastructure that you have in place. So you have to look at where your organization is. And if you don't have a board that's involved in fundraising, maybe part of your development plan is to build your board or to strengthen your board or to get your board more involved in fundraising. If you've never involved volunteers in fundraising, that could be a goal to find, identify, recruit, and train volunteers to help you with fundraising. And I know Mark and I are, Rob and I are both big on this because it's really important that we get volunteers involved and do some peer-to-peer fundraising. And, for an organization that's brand new, you're going to be spending your time doing infrastructure type things like getting a software system and building your case for support and just getting some of the basic things in place before you can really do fundraising. So if you've been doing fundraising for 20 years, then your plan maybe is going to focus more on major gifts, capital campaigns, plan giving, things that organizations are ready to do when they're a little bit further down the line with this process. So I think there's a lot of factors that go into development planning, and we'll be talking about all of that in this course.
Yeah, and I threw up the pyramid of giving here. That is something that we use. That it talks about all of those different components that make up your development plan and make up a well-rounded one, right? And of course, there's direct mail that we'll be talking about, and social media giving and online giving, and the emails you send out in your direct mail, benefits and special events. I love the fact that you teach a course called the 12-step cure to special event addiction.
Right.
And that, which is absolutely true. A lot of nonprofits think that benefits and special events are the way to fundraise. And I believe you say your advice is no more than 2 a year, right, Linda?
Right. Unless you're a very large department and you have a whole department that can focus on special events, then maybe you can handle more. But for most people, I once had a client who was one person development shop, and his organization ran 14 special events a year. And I used to joke with him because he was a former Marine. And I said, if you weren't a Marine, nobody else would have the stamina to handle 14 special events a year. So, but some organizations, it's all they know. So that's what they do. And
that's it.
Really important to get out there and look at other methods of fundraising.
One of the things that also, I guess it's not, I don't see it in here listed on this thing, and it should be. The other thing that people fall into the trap of thinking that it's writing grants and corporate donations are the big thing. And I threw up the pie chart here. And one of the things we're going to let's talk a little bit about this. This is the 80-20 rule of fundraising, I call it. And actually, there's two 80-20 rules of fundraising, in my opinion. But the first one that we're going to talk about today is 80% of the money is coming from individuals. And that's the red pie on the big slice of red pie there on the right. And of course, put those bequests, right? That are planned gifts and bequests and estate gifts. But that obviously come from individuals. And 20% of the funds is coming from foundations, grant writing, and corporations. In 2020, the foundation stepped up to the plate, and I think that number increased just a little bit in 2020. And the corporation dollars fell significantly in 2020, for obvious reasons because of a pandemic. I think the foundation number went up because the stock market was doing well, and a lot of these foundations found themselves in a good place, and they really able to step up to the plate. So the problem, in my opinion, is so many organizations are spending 80% of their time chasing down foundations and corporations, and 20% of their time focusing on individuals. And that needs to be flipped back the opposite direction. We need to be focusing the majority of our time on individuals, because, and in your program for getting businesses, it really does focus on those individuals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even even corporate.
I think for businesses, I think the business giving could be greatly increased if we did a better job of it. And those figures that Giving USA puts out, I think it's a great publication. I'm not knocking it at all. But one of the things that I think is a mistake there is what they list donations from corporations. And only 5% of the businesses in this country are incorporated. The rest are LLCs, they're partnerships, they're sole proprietorships. And where do those donations go? I never got a straight answer from anybody as to how they get counted, if they get counted. And everybody goes after. I developed what I call the Willy Sutton theory. And for those who are too young, I'm even too young to remember Willy Sutton. I think he was around in the 1930s. I wasn't born till the 1940s, but he was an infamous bank robber. He robbed hundreds of banks. And I found out later in doing my research that this was an urban legend, but they always said that a reporter asked Willy, "Why do you keep robbing banks?" And he said, "That's where the money is." Well, that makes sense. But that's how nonprofits take a look at this. And they look at the big corporations with the big glass buildings and the skyscrapers and the high-powered executives at the top. But they don't look at all the small businesses in their community and the medium-sized businesses, which just because they're small, as far as numbers of employees, doesn't mean they're not extremely wealthy or extremely philanthropic. In fact, my research showed that the smaller businesses gave a bigger percentage of their income, just like individuals do. The lower income individuals tend to give a greater percentage to charity than the wealthy people do. Yes, we all hear about, the Warren Buffetts and Bill Gates and the Jeff Bezos and all the people that have and are giving very substantial gifts. But if you look at the percentage of their income, they're probably not giving as much as the person that's earning minimum wage, but still giving money to their church and to other organizations.
Amen.
So I think we have to get rid of that Willy Sutton theory and not just look at the big businesses. In most communities, it is the big banks that they look at. Where I live, of course, they all look at the big casinos and say, well, we can go raise money from all the casinos. And I think there's some nonprofits in the state of Nevada that don't think we have any businesses other than casinos. And we have lots and lots of other businesses.
Where I live down the street from me, Oprah Winfrey owns a home. And lots of horses, and I've only seen Oprah once here on Maui. I kind of tell you, every nonprofit on Maui, I've sat down with their board, and they say, "Well, we just get Oprah to make a donation. All of our worries will be over." And I look at them all, and I say, "Okay, which one of you guys knows Oprah?" And nobody. Forget about Oprah. Don't think about Oprah. Let's do this. You happen to have relationships with people that give money every day to nonprofits, and if they're giving it to somebody else, unless they know that you're passionate about this organization, you're doing this organization a disservice if you're not telling them about why you're passionate about your nonprofit and ask others to join you in making a gift.
Yeah.
We do have a question from Jean Legnier Sr., not junior, senior here is in the room. And it says, this is Jean. I have heard you mention that there were 20 videos for $99. And I think if I said that was a misspeak. It was, that was the leaky bucket. course.
Oh,
And then what's the difference between that and the offer of 20% off? Well, you get 20% off of $99 for that leaky bucket video. And these are those of you guys that are trying to get your CFRE certification. This is huge, right? You need to get 80, is it 80 hours of, I forget how many hours.
I forget how many hours it is. I should know this because I'm also teaching a CFRE prep course, but I forget the exact number of hours. I think it might be 80 continuing ed units that you need.
I do not have the leaky bucket image here. I have a lot of your, I found the capital campaign we were talking about.
I don't think the leaky bucket one has 20 videos. It's the roadmap that has 20 videos.
So if we come back in, well, I was going to go back into do a screen share, and I'm going to lose half of you there while I go in and get lost again. But if you go to our website, nonprofitcampaigns.com, and you look at the online training courses and hit the link that says Linda Lysakowski ACFRE's courses, there's 11 or 12 of them there. We've got a few more that are coming that we need to get loaded up. We've got a few updates. All of those, if you use coupon code when you check out Web 2021, then you will get 20% off. So whatever that was, maybe it was 8 hours, I think. The leaky bucket.
Right. The leaky bucket had 8 hours, I think.
Of instruction.
The longest course is 20 videos, a total of 16.25 hours, and that's your fundraising roadmap. And I honestly forgot the price of that, but the prices of the courses range from $99 to, I believe the highest one is $497.
Awesome.
So,
and you're going to get 20%.
I can't remember honestly all the prices.
We've got all kinds of deals and discounts and offers for you today. So today is the day to save. 20% on all Linda's courses that are in there. Jean, thank you for asking that question. I hope we answered that well. Others that are in the Facebook group, go ahead and type your questions, and we'd love to answer questions. We love to interact with you guys. We love to hear what motivates you and what excites you. We like to hear about your nonprofits, and we love it when you hit that like and love button up there, right? We've got 5 people that have hit the like and the love button so far, and come on, there's a bunch of you guys in there. So if you're liking what Linda's got to say, let's go ahead and hit those buttons and ask questions. We love to talk to you guys. I want to go back in and talk a little bit about the special that we are doing for our fundraising university at Nonprofit Campaigns. Jean came in and says that question was adequately answered. Thank you, Jean. As I said, we're going to start our first 6-week masterclass September 15th. And this is the very first course of our fundraising university of nonprofit campaigns, aka FUNC. And it is the cost of the course, if you saw me put it up earlier, is $249, which I believe is quite pretty good deal for a 6-week masterclass to over 10 hours of instruction. But right now, and this offer is only good through the weekend, we have an image here that I am searching for. I'm not very good at producing my own shows while I talk. Here it is right here. That sounds all funny down there, but there's the coupon code. If you today, if you go on our website and you register for the course, the 6-week masterclass, and that's why I told Natalie and Heather and many of you guys that want to take this course, I said, don't register until you come to this class, because we have a special bonus for you that are here for our live forum today. When you check out, if you enter coupon code I want FUNC, and I must clarify, FUNC means the Fundraising University at Nonprofit Campaigns. We're getting funky here. You get a $50 savings. This coupon code is only good for this weekend, and we're only telling people that are in our Nonprofit Campaigns community, and those that are watching this live forum today, you can save $50, and it's $199, and you have the live. You have this this registration for. You will be registered for our fundraising university. Sorry, I got sidetracked there as I was trying to find the button to push and get that off. Now, a lot of the people that are here, I know that want to sign up for this were founders. And I had a question asked of me the other day. Well, gosh, okay, once I start raising money for this nonprofit, can I reimburse myself? Absolutely. And I think you should. I think the nonprofit, so many of these founders, so many of you guys are out there funding this nonprofit out of your pocket. I did the same thing with nonprofit campaigns for the last year, and we funded most of this out of my pocket. And there's a time when you need to make that money back. So yes, you can be reimbursed from it. And Linda, I think, we were talking earlier about how there is such high turnover amongst development staff in the nonprofit industry. We need, as fundraising professionals, executive directors, CEOs, development directors, if you have staff, or chief advancement officers, if you have staff under you, we need to be supporting them and encouraging them in their career and giving them advancement opportunities, teaching them about the CFRE and how they can get excited about there and where they can go. I think all nonprofit professionals should be paying for the beginners and their more entry-level development staff to take this course. Don't you agree, Linda?
Absolutely. I think that one of the things that I can tell you I've been in fundraising for about 35 years now, I guess, or maybe 40, I don't know. But when I started this career, I came from a career in banking. I spent 11 years in banking, and the bank was extremely supportive of me. They paid in fact, I went to college as an adult because I got married at the age of 16. So didn't have time to go to college. I was raising children at a very early age. But the bank paid for all my college education, my books and everything. And I almost felt guilty when I left the bank and went to work in the nonprofit sector because I realized that's where my real calling was. But I'll never forget the exit interview I had with the head of human resources. And I said to her, I feel a little guilty leaving the bank after they paid for my college education. And she said, don't feel guilty about that. She said, this is an employee benefit. And the knowledge that you learned while you were going to school helped us help the bank as much as it helped you. And I never forgot that. And I think it's really unfortunate that a lot of times in a nonprofit sector, we don't want to pay for education and training for our staff people because we think, well, they should just, we don't have money, we'll let them pay for it themselves. You've got to put money in your budget to pay for professional development. And when I left my first career, which is at a university, and I went to work and it was a startup, or the organization had existed, but they had never done fundraising. And I said, well, I'm willing to come and work here, but here's my stipulations. I want you to pay for my membership in AFP. I always attend the AFP International Conference because in those days you didn't have online learning. You had to pay to fly and spend the night in a hotel for almost a week. And I said, that's part of my education. It's going to help this organization. And so that's what I expect to put in your development budget is the educational opportunities that I need to be successful in my job. Mm-hmm. So I just presented it that way, and I never had anybody argue with me that it didn't make sense. So I really think we have to invest in development. The old adage that it takes money to raise money is really true. It does take money to make money. And so you've got to invest in not only paying a decent salary to the development staff, but in the education and the training. And today, with all this online learning, where could you get 10 hours of instruction for $250 Well, 199, I guess, if they sign up right away. Coupon. Where could you possibly get that? Normally, if you send somebody to 10 hours of training, you'd have to pay $199 just for them to stay in a hotel overnight, besides the fee for the education. So online learning, I think, has really been one of the best things that's happened to this profession, because now you can stay at home or stay in your office and take these classes, and you don't have to pay airfare. You don't have to spend money for meals and hotels or driving there, spending gas. It's so much of a bargain to me that I think everybody needs to do online learning, because it's absolutely essential to your growth. And the way things change in this profession, you need to keep up with it. You can't just say, well, I took some college courses, or I took this like 10 years ago. I mean, I'm a lifelong learner. You wouldn't believe how many webinars I still take, because I have things to learn too. And I'm an ACFRE and have been for, oh, I think I got my ACFRE in like 2000, the year 2000. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know. We discussed that before. That was the year I got my CFRE. You got your ACFRE, and I stupidly let it expire at one point in my life, and now I'm working to bring it back and get that back on there. Yeah. So as we were talking, yes, if you are a senior development person or CEO here, or an executive director, pay for your staff to attend. Go talk to your staff. Say, hey, we've got this great course. We want you to get in there. I decided we're going to create a letter, and we're going to give. If you are a entry level or a development staff person, and you work at a nonprofit, we're going to give you a letter to give to your boss that is going to ask them to pay for it, but not only ask them to pay for the class, but explain to them the benefits of how you are going to be a better employee. In fact, I even thought about giving a money back guarantee to the nonprofits that pay for this, and say, hey, look, if your employee is not a better development associate or development staff person after this course, we'll give you your money back, because that's how we guarantee that you are gonna this is going to be able to teach you things that you need to know to succeed in this. And I think the most important thing for the founders out there is we want to teach you how to start off on the right foot. Linda and I are consultants. We go in and they pay us good money to go and fix bad habits that a lot of organizations have developed over the years. And it's really easier to start off on the right foot, and with your board of directors, teaching them that culture of philanthropy and making that just the way that's how business is. And it's just a culture, and it's just what we do here in the organization, where everybody's happy to develop relationships with donors. And of course, the flip side of that, we call the culture of charity, right? Where you're reducing your fundraising process to a transaction, versus that culture of philanthropy, where we're developing relationships and we're looking for the long-term good of the donor, not necessarily how much we can get out of them right now. Where was I here? I'm just going off on I do this sometimes. I go into shark attack mode and start talking, and I forget where I'm at.
One of the things you mentioned, though, that sparked something in my mind is when you were talking about the culture of philanthropy. One of the things that you might not think is a big deal, but for those of you who are just starting out and just founding an organization, maybe you're ready to hire your first fundraising staff person. Don't call them the fundraising manager or the fundraising specialist, or call them something like the director of development or the director of philanthropy, because it lends a whole area of credibility to that development staff person when they're out meeting with people and they're meeting with philanthropists and CEOs. They don't want to talk to what they consider to be some flunky. They want to talk to a director. So make sure that person has an appropriate title, and also make sure that the development director works directly under the CEO, because they shouldn't be reporting to a director of finance who knows nothing about fundraising, or a director of public relations or marketing, because marketing is certainly an important part of fundraising, but they have to report directly to the CEO. So if you're just starting out, maybe hiring your first development staff, give them a name that really makes sense. And development I like because it implies that your whole job is developing relationships. As you said, Rob, it's not a transactional thing. It's not just asking for money, writing the grant, writing the letter, doing a special event. It's about building relationships, and that's what's really important.
You're speaking to you're speaking to me right now on that one. There's one of my old clients, and I know that it's a national nonprofit that shall remain nameless right now, that they've got development staff in there, and they call them account managers, and they're taking from the for-profit world. Right. And the last thing, if I'm going to sit down and listen, and I know, let's face it, these philanthropists, these donors, these people know that they're going to sit down and they're going to be asked for money, and the last thing I want to be looked at is an account.
Right, that's for sure. And I think that's just so critical. I mean, nonprofits need to operate in a more business-like manner in some ways, but it's not a business and it's not sales. I can't tell you. I had one client that it was a private school, and they hired somebody to be the director of development because she sold a lot of, I don't know if it was cookies or magazines or whatever the school did as a fundraiser. So, well, she's a great salesperson, so we'll hire her to be the director of development. Another one hired an athletic director, and his idea of fundraising was taking a bunch of athletes out to the bar and have a drink with them. And it wasn't about building relationships, and that's really what development is all about. So it's not a sales job. Yes, there's some things that I came from a sales background, so there was many things that I could translate into this, but I realized day one that working for a nonprofit was a whole different ballgame. It's not sales. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yes, thank you. We do have Lim Montero asked a question in here, and go ahead and read along there with me. We're gonna try to answer this one. It says, we'd like to approach small businesses in our area, but we don't have any relationships with most of them. Small business owners are constantly bombarded with sales and marketing calls. How does a nonprofit trying to connect with a small business not run into the same roadblocks that are in place to stop sales and marketing calls?
Well, how appropriate to what we just talked about.
That was really right on there, wasn't
it? and Lem, you need to take my class on raising more money from your business community, I think. Yes. But seriously, one of the big issues is, and my first job in development, I actually came into development. I might have told you this in another session, but as I said, I was a banker for 11 years. And one day the executive vice president of the bank called me and invited me for breakfast. And I thought, oh my gosh, what did I do wrong? Am I being fired or what? And the reason he wanted to take me out for breakfast, he said, the university that I had attended and just graduated from right before while I was still working for the bank, I graduated from that university. And they did an annual business appeal every year. And he said, I don't know anybody in this community. He was very new. He just moved here. And he said, well, first of all, you went to the university. Secondly, you know all the businesses in town because you're at the Chamber of Commerce meetings and you know everybody. So would you go and work on this annual business appeal? And this university, it was a private Catholic university, and the president was a nun, a Bernardine sister, and she was amazingly dynamic, just did so much to put that university on the map. And one day she said, well, we don't have a lot of wealthy alumni because they had started out being a college for nuns, and obviously they're not the top wage scale. And then they became a women's college, not even a university at that time, a women's college, and most of their alum were teachers, nurses. Again, they weren't high-powered business people in town, but she built a really strong board. And she said to 4 of her board members who were business people, can you go out and see if you can raise some money from your friends in the business world? And these 4 board members went out and raised $6,000, which was nothing to brag about, but it was better than $0. Well, within about 5 years, by the time I came there and took over that job of acting or assistant vice president for institutional advancement, and my job was working on this business appeal, by the time I left there, we had between 150 and 200 volunteers raising $500,000 a year in a fairly small community from mostly small and medium-sized businesses. But it was building those relationships and using that peer-to-peer approach. So one of the things I talk about in my Raise More Money from Your Business Community course is how you run cultivation events for businesses, where you bring people in and you don't ask them for money. You're bringing them in to learn about your organization and for you to learn about them. And there's open dialogue and you build those relationships. And I've had so much success with that. So I think those cultivation type events, you don't call them that when you invite people. You say you're having a business leaders breakfast, and usually they like breakfast meetings. In fact, when I went to work for the university, even before that, when I was volunteering, the vice president at that time, I never worked in the corporate sector at all. He was actually a Baptist minister working in a Catholic university, and he started his meetings at 9 o'clock in the morning and ran them till 11. And he was wondering why the business leaders weren't showing up. And I said, can I give you a suggestion? Start your meeting at 7:30, have them out there by 8:30 and you'll do better. He said, you think so? I said, I know so. So he took my advice, and the next meeting we had 3 times as many people there. So you have to learn to work with the business community where they're at. I remember once I was interviewing a bank president for a client for a capital campaign, and when I called him, he was interested in the organization, but I think he was trying to give me the brush off, and he said, oh, I'm so busy. The only way I could see you is if you can be here at 6:30 in the morning. And I said, okay, is tomorrow morning all right? And he said, what? You'll be here at 6:30? I said, yeah. He said, well, just come to the back door because I'm the only one in that early in the morning. And he said, just knock on the back door and I'll let you in. About an hour later, I walked away knowing that he was going to make a substantial gift and volunteer for this campaign. So I learned to work with the business community, but these cultivation activities can be so helpful and all that.
Excellent advice, Linda. And Lem, I want to add that we did a show on this, the importance of nonprofits getting involved in service clubs. But I got to tell you, if join go out and visit every Rotary Club, Lions Club, Kiwanis Club, go to the Chamber of Commerce, join the Chamber of Commerce and get involved. This is where those business people, those business leaders that have that they want to give back, they want to get involved in their community, and they respect a person that joins their group, gets involved. You can't join a Rotary Club or a Kiwanis Club expecting to get gifts. You have to join it for the right reasons. You're joining because you want to give back to your community. You want to be of service. And it just so happens if you do that, those business leaders, you will develop those relationships with these people. They will see you're genuine and that you care about the community, and they will gravitate to you. And it'll just be as easy as slicing that pie to go out there and meet with these people and get those donations.
Absolutely. That's how I was able to get 150 to 200 volunteers, because everybody at the chamber knew me. all the middle managers, the senior managers, the business owners. And so I had no problem recruiting volunteers. I would just call up or see them at a chamber meeting and say, hey, we're going to start our annual appeal. Would you like to get involved in it? And I had no trouble getting volunteers to get involved because they all knew me.
We've got just a few minutes left. I can't believe every time we get
Boy,
together,
that went fast. Wow.
an hour goes fast. We could do this. We could do this for 2 hours and wouldn't stop blinking. It's Dorina Smith asks, she goes, I'm new to the nonprofit world. And as a founder, is it better to be the president or CEO, or why? I'm going to let you start off with that. I think everybody's going to know you're the founder. That's not really a title thing. Most nonprofit people go in as the executive director typically, and but certainly president and CEO are worthy titles to be to have in there. I myself, I'm the founder and CEO of nonprofit campaigns. I call myself the director of fun, or on my business card it says I'm chief inspiration officer. I try to go for those other weird titles. What's your thought on that for Dorina?
I think one thing to think about is if you're a paid person, you can be either the president or the CEO, but what are you going to call the head of your board? If your board, if it's a board chair, if it's chair of the board, then you could be the president. But if you're going to call the board, the head of the board president, then I would suggest probably executive director or CEO. It depends probably a lot on your organization, but the most common title I think is executive director, unless you're with a university or a hospital or something. Then
absolutely, yeah. And typically speaking, when you CEO, for instance, I came from the YMCA, and we had a CEO who was over half a dozen executive directors at various branches, and that made sense. Mm-hmm. But good question there, Dorina, and definitely we want you to join this fundraising university masterclass on annual giving for beginners, because you're going to learn a lot. We're going to get a chance to get everybody in there, ask questions. We're going to do assessment of where you're at now, where you need to be going. As I said earlier, I think the greatest thing for you, Dorina, is you're going to be starting off on the right foot. And as we said earlier, you don't have to go back and fix bad habits down the road later. And the other thing I like about our nonprofit fundraising university is in that development plan all the time, we are teaching you how to get people out of those passive levels of giving, which would be direct mail and email marketing campaigns and special events that are really, in my opinion, a lot more friend-raisers than they are fundraisers, and getting them into what we call a high-impact fundraising campaign. And in fact, I'm going to show the image here. We have our intro. This is a course we have on our website. It's the Intro to High-Impact Campaigns, and it is a 2 hours of video, 50-page guidebook. And it talks about something that most nonprofits are just not doing, which is creating volunteer-led, staff-managed fundraising campaigns that encourage, like Linda said, to get those cadre of volunteers fundraising for your organization and organizing it in a campaign with specific goals and measurable results, so nobody's overtaxed with too much work, and of course makes it fun. This course is available on our website right now for $199. And I just had an epiphany, Linda. Why don't we give this course away for free to the people that register today for our fundraising university at Nonprofit Campaigns that starts September 15th. Not only do you get the 50% discount, my gosh, I feel like such a pitch master today out here. But not only do you get the 50% discount,
$50, right?
Oh, sorry, 50. Thank you. I'm giving away the store too much here. I do need to live indoors. We need to make a little money here. Not only will you get the discount, $50 off, if you enter coupon code I want funk, and that's good through this weekend, Sunday at midnight. It will expire, so you'll get $50 off. So instead of $249, you're going to pay $199 for the 6 weeks masterclass, and we're going to throw in the course that I just had the image up, wherever that course is: Intro to High Impact Campaigns, a guide to prepare for success. And of course, that's something that we're going to be training in that 6-week course. We're going to be teaching you a lot more about this, but this is really would be a great intro, almost like a prerequisite, so to speak, in the course. If you've taken this course first, you're going to come jump in that 6 weeks masterclass with a lot of information, and you're going to be a step ahead of the rest of the team. Whew, it's already 1:02. We've gone an hour. I'm going to jump back up in here to the comments to see who else. Dorina said, thank you. You're welcome, Dorina Smith. Where are you from, anyhow? She, I don't know. We'll find out. Lim said, thank you for answering my question, Linda and Rob. Lim, you are welcome. We are so honored to have all of you guys here join us. And this is such an important topic. We've got so many founders, so many new nonprofit people, so many people that need to, that are in development, that want to be encouraged and brought through and realize that you are in a fabulous industry that we work in right now. And we want you to realize that there's advancement opportunities and there's training opportunities. And so I want to thank everybody for attending. Doreen's from Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of states in here today, didn't we, Linda?
I think just about every time zone is covered.
I almost forgot. Not only are you, so you're only going to pay $199. You get the free intro to high impact campaigns. Linda's courses, all of Linda's courses on our website at Nonprofit Campaigns are 20% off. I've got a coupon code for you down here at the bottom for those of you that missed it. All the courses right now on our website for that Linda offers. And there's like 60-ish hours of CFRE continuing education units. If you want to get those, if you want to get your CFRE, if you just want to learn how to be a better fundraiser, go in there and enter coupon code WEB 2021 when you check out, and you will get a 20% discount on everything Linda offers on our website. And there is a lot of good stuff there. Thank you.
Okay.
Linda, I appreciate you being here. It's always fun.
I can't believe when we were on, we were always on for an hour, and it seems like 10 minutes.
Absolutely. And but you know what? You are my fundraising, what's the term we use? Soulmate.
Soulmate.
Yeah. My fundraising soulmate here. We both have the same philosophies and the same ethics. And I look forward to creating a lot more courses and training programs with Linda. After we get done with this annual campaign for beginners, we're going to go right into the next level, and we're going to start. That'll be the advanced beginner or the intermediate class, and then we're going to go into capital campaigns. We're going to go into planned giving. That's so much stuff that I wanted to talk about today. We didn't get a chance to do, but we're going to get together. Linda, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you, everybody, for showing up.
And we're also doing a webinar, right? Do you want to mention that?
Oh my gosh, thank you. Yes, we are going to be doing a webinar on Wednesday, September 1st. And that is a webinar for those that don't sign. The rest of you guys are all signing up today. You're making the big money, saving the big money today. But those people that are coming in that haven't that watched this show, we've got a webinar for those people. And of course, all of you are invited for that webinar as well. It's going to be at 1 p.m. Pacific time. So what was that? 4 p.m. Eastern time.
Right.
And for those of us in Hawaii, it's 10 a.m. here in Hawaii. We're going to do a live webinar to tell you all about this masterclass. Do the same thing that Linda and I are doing right now. Answer your questions and tell you all kinds of great advice for free and get you to get into this Fundraising University masterclass that is going to make your fundraising success journey a lot of fun.
Absolutely. So tell all your friends.
Tell all your friends, invite your nonprofit colleagues, share this video with anybody that wants to attend. And
especially your board members, if you have boards that don't understand what this fundraising bit is all about.
Especially the board chair, right? Maybe not all of the board members.
Right.
But if your board chair attends this thing, my gosh, how wonderful would it be for your board chair to get it and be your partner in crime? Go into that.
And they might be ready to get their checkbook and write out the check and pay for your course.
They just might. And you know what? Oh man, yeah. Show all of your board chairs this video right now. We're going to create that letter and I'll send it out to everybody. So if you want to give it to your boss, let them know that you're going to be, you want to succeed and excel in this industry. And so they can pay for your course. And how wonderful is it to have your board chair right alongside with you when it comes to developing that culture of philanthropy? Because it's really hard for an executive director to go to the board and say, all right, we're going to change everything here. And now we're going to be a fundraising board. And half the people walk out of the room and whoever's left is like, okay, let's start over. And so, yeah, when your board chair is the person doing it and your board chair is leading that cause, it's a lot safer for the person that works for the board.
Right.
All right. It is almost 7-8 minutes after. I want to thank everybody that's here. If you've been watching on YouTube, thank you. This will be replayed on Facebook and YouTube and our website and all over the place. Share it with your friends. Thank you for being here, Linda. Thank you for being here, viewers out there. We will return next week. Oh, I've got a special announcement. Next week on our live forum, the episode, we are going to have Liz Presley as our special guest, who is the eldest daughter of Elvis Presley. Since you are in Viva Las Vegas, I know you're going to be excited about this. Tell us about your Elvis story when you were young, Linda.
Oh, I was madly in love with Elvis when I was about 12, and I took his picture and Scotch taped it on. I don't know how I ever got up there. I must have stood on a ladder. Scotch taped it on the ceiling above my bed, so he'd be the last thing I saw when I went to bed at night. My father had a fit because I was Scotch taping his paint job. I was just always madly in love with Elvis. Well, I once lost a boyfriend because he took me to an Elvis movie and I scratched his arm so bad. I think he had enough of me. So I got to tune in on that one. Next
week, well, we have you in there. You can join us maybe. We'll have 3 heads in the room next week. I'm pretty excited. So join us next week. Same bat time, same bat channel for and we're going to have Liz Presley, the eldest daughter of Elvis and Priscilla Presley, and she's going to tell us all about the Presley Foundation, and she's coming from Graceland. Jean said, how do we get a copy of this video? It will be on our YouTube channel, like in just a couple of minutes, and it'll be on our Facebook community. So if you go to YouTube and put in nonprofit campaigns, it should pop right up to our channel. And you can subscribe. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you might need to put Nonprofit Campaigns LLC. I'm not sure, but to get it to pop up. I'm hoping it pops up right at the beginning when you put Nonprofit Campaigns. It'll be there. It'll also be on our Facebook page, and it will be put in our Facebook group. It's the Nonprofit Campaigns community. Here is the Facebook group. If you haven't joined yet, my gosh, this is where all the fun happens. You got to join our Facebook group. And it's basically facebook.com/groups /nonprofit campaigns community. Join the group. They're gonna ask you a couple of questions because we kind of keep the riffraff out, right? And so it'll ask you a couple of questions. Please enter those in there and say that you agree to that you're not going to be like fundraising. We don't want fundraising in the group because we're all fundraisers, right? We can't be like, passing the cup to each other. And so we'll have it live there, Gene. We'll have it live, or the replay there, and we'll have the replay on YouTube. Lastly, Sunflower Fields says, thank you. Great information. You're welcome, Sunflower Fields. We'd love to hear more about your nonprofit sometime. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We'll be back next week. As I said, same bat time, same bat channel for another episode of the, what do we call this? The live forum on fundraising here at Nonprofit Campaigns. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.